This is an interview with Saturday Night Live writer Chris Kelly by Boy Scout Troop 508. This was done as part of the boys earning their Cinematography Merit Badge. They couldn't meet in person, so Chris watched their questions on a computer and then recorded a video response.
I was wondering, what kind of scenes do you like to write the most?
Okay, so the question was, what type of scenes do I like to write the most? I don't know. It's at my work at SNL right now, it usually is just the scenes that are the most fun, which sounds very like an obvious answer, that I like to write what is the most fun. But a lot of times at work, you have to write all your sketches in one night, and you're very tired, and you're very stressed out, and you're constantly thinking like, oh my God, what am I gonna write? I gotta write something good. I only have like 20 hours, or otherwise I'm gonna fail. And sometimes if you're writing a sketch and it's so hard, and there's so much research, and you guys are struggling so hard to write it, it usually means that it's not very good, or that if it's just too much work, it's just not gonna be as good as you want it to be. So it's most fun just to like sit with a cast member. I share offices with this woman named Kate McKinnon, and we write together a lot, and that's usually the most fun. I mean, really, most of our sketches start with like, what is a voice that you like? And then she'll do a voice that is so stupid, and then we'll write a sketch.
And I was wondering what kind of big stars you work with.
Well, the cool thing about SNL is there's like different people coming in every single week. So, there's like a new host every week and a new musical guest every week. So it is really cool and fun. And it's weird because like you work there and obviously it's like your job, and so you're supposed to play it cool. But there are obviously like really exciting people who come by. Like our last show was Paul McCartney, playing the Christmas show, and Martin Short was there hosting, and obviously that was exciting because I've been listening to his music and watching Martin Short on TV for a very long time, so that was fun. And then there's just sort of people from all walks of life. There's just like regular movie stars, and then there like Daniel Craig, who's James Bond or whatever, and then comedians that I look up to like Louis C.K., and then people who've been on SNL before, like Jimmy Fallon or Maya Rudolph will come back. So it's sort of cool because every week there's somebody different.
I was wondering, how do you think of your ideas?
I think of my ideas differently for each job. Like in some of my past jobs, like I used to work at this place called The Onion, and then this other place called Funny or Die, where we would have to like write jokes about politics or write jokes about like a TV show that's on right now. And so you would watch that TV show, or you would watch the news, and then you would try to write funny jokes based on the news or that TV show. So that's how I would come up with jokes for some of my other jobs. But for Saturday Night Live, where I work now, sometimes I'll just kind of like joke around with a friend at work. I'll kind of sit in my office with one of the cast members, and we'll just joke around until we find something funny, and then we'll just kind of write that. So sometimes it's really just like, how you kind of like sit with your friends and joke around, or if you're like sitting at school and you're talking about whatever, that's sort of kind of how we do it at work, only then we end up turning it into a script. Sometimes if I walk down the street or I'm on the subway, I will put my headphones in but not listen to music and secretly spy on people and just write down what I hear, or sit next to the craziest person I can find and just listen to what they say. But usually it's just like walking down the street, or like if you're at like Thanksgiving, just sit next to like your worst relative and just remember what they say. That's usually a good thing.
I was wondering if you write a lot of the jokes for Saturday Night Live.
So the question was, do I write a lot of the jokes for Saturday Night Live? I write all the jokes for Saturday Night Live. And then there's a bunch of other writers who just hang out. No, it depends. No, I don't write a lot of that. I don't write most of them. Usually, maybe like one sketch a show will be mine, more or less. Sometimes you'll have a really good week and you'll have 2 or 3 sketches on.
What do you do when other writers disagree with what you want to write?
The short answer is I shut my mouth and I go, okay, I guess I'm wrong, and I move on. But that happens all the time, I guess. I mean, at SNL, you write a bunch of sketches every week. So I'll usually write about 4 or 5 sketches, and not usually, but sometimes like one will get on. Like having one sketch on is like pretty great, but that's one sketch and you wrote like 4 or 5. So that means 3 or 4 of them didn't go. But that's still pretty good odds. So you have to like, when you're writing comedy or doing anything, you have to like be used to rejection. So you got to focus on that one that got through instead of the 3 or 4 that didn't. So you get pretty used to people telling you they don't like your stuff, or not that they don't like it, but it just doesn't work that time. So a lot of times you'll pitch jokes that they won't use, or you'll have an idea for something that they won't use. And it's not that big a deal. I think the more you write and the longer that you're a writer, the more you learn not to be so precious about every idea that you have. and just like trust that you'll move on and you'll come up with another idea. And if that doesn't work either, then you'll come up with another one, and then that will work. So